Okay, so let's create our first question to ask students, and this could be in the form of a warm-up. And I'm going to click on my class here, and got the plus sign, and I'm going to choose create question. And let's say the question is, who was the first human to visit space? Sorry, I'm thinking really quick. What was the name of the first human to go into space? What country were they from? And maybe something a little, what did I put for that previous one? Did they live through that first mission? So maybe something like that as a warm-up question. Usually down here in instructions, I tell students how I want them to answer. So example answer format would maybe be, you could just make up a name, George Montes, and country, France. He lived. So maybe something like that. Due date, because it's a warm-up question, I want to do on the same day. So let's say this is May, tomorrow's the 25th, so let's make it due today. Topic, I can create a topic called warm-up. And here's some options that are important. One, I can send this to all my classes, so I can click on these to send it to my other periods once I'm finished. I'm going to click on all students here. And then I want this to be a short answer. There is an option for multiple choice. Students can reply to each other. Maybe not right now. You could play with that later in having students, maybe you create a question that they're replying in a way that's constructive to the question, but I wouldn't start that off with just a warm-up question like that, because they're just probably going to write nonsense there. Sometimes I allow students to edit their answers, sometimes I don't. In this case, just at the beginning, I'll allow them to edit their answer, because a lot of them don't realize that this is how I want it to look, and they want to go back and maybe they just give me the name, so they forgot to do country and whether that person lived through that first mission. You can add documents to this, YouTube videos, links, but for right now, what I'm asking students to do maybe is use an online resource to find the correct answer. For example, Google. So maybe they just Google who was the first person to visit space. And what I can do is I can click ask. As soon as I do this, it's going to show up in all the other classes. And what I've noticed is that, say you made a typo or you messed something up or you needed to put another link or video or something else in here, you'll have to go back and change that individually for each class. It doesn't change. Let's say I click ask and then I go back and edit this. Let's say I spelled humans wrong. If I spell it right for period 1, it won't change it for the rest of the classes automatically. I have to go back into them manually and change that for each one, which is a little bit annoying. It's not something that Google Classroom can do yet, maybe in the future. So I click Ask, and it shows up. This is how students see it. They'll see the question, they'll see the instructions down below. It says due today, that's warm up. I don't have any students in here yet, so it says 0 done, 0 not done, but I can show you an example of a warm up. So maybe if I go to, let's go to period 3, I did a similar question before. Here we go, using an online resource, wanting to figure out who the first human in space was, what was his or her name, what country were they from, did they live or die on that first mission. 18 done, 11 not done, click on it, and I can start reading how they responded. The first human in space was Yuri Gagarin. He was a Soviet. He lived on his mission but died in 1968 in a plane crash. Let's say I want that to be 5 points. Update, and that was Mia, so we can give her 5 out of 5 for that answer. And you can keep going through, and then once you have all the answers that you've graded, you can click return to the student, and then they'll see what grade they received for that particular assignment. Some of them will say not done. You can give them 0s if you would like for that. And if you click return, that is what they will see returned back to them. So that's the way that the Google grading interface looks. It's going through each student and how they responded, so you kind of have to go back and forth between the 2 columns. Back and period 1. So that is an example of asking a question or a warm-up type scenario that's going to give you immediate feedback from students. You could add a comment there as well. Remember, we disabled comments so that students cannot start writing down here.